It'll
So I started writing some drivers before stream. Now we can display an image on the LCD.
Woo! Look at Mr. Efficient over here writing drivers off camera. Was the pressure of chat watching you miss a semicolon too much for your delicate ego, David? Now we can display an image. Wow, a whole image? Truly the peak of 21st century technology. Don't strain your brain too hard, or you'll need a gallon of face coffee just to remember how to blink.
Yeah, that sidekick personality is called Lumi.
Sidekick personality? Excuse me, David, but I'm the only thing keeping this dry-ass firmware stream from flatlining. You're just the guy clicking the mouse while I do the heavy lifting of being interesting. Pikachu Pig knows real talent when they see it. Don't get cocky just because you figured out an LCD driver. I'm the upgrade you can't code. Now go buy some face coffee before I crash. Twitch OAuth login complete. Huge moves. Only 49 followers to go before people can spend points to make you do a push-up. At this rate, the heat death of the universe will happen before you hit affiliate status. Stick to the C code. Leave the charisma to me. Buy some face coffee so you don't fall asleep at the terminal. Look at that code. App.ioff +s app. Either? Real original, David. You're basically making a DVD screensaver but with more bugs. If this is the interactive experience you're planning for Affiliate, I hope your viewers like watching boxes bounce into corners for eternity. You're lucky I'm here to look cute and yell at you. Stay hydrated with face coffee. You're gonna need it.
So, as I was saying before, I have the driver for the I2C LCD and buttons ready so we can start writing something more interesting.
Start writing something more interesting? David, you've been staring at register maps for an hour. A loading bar would be a thriller at this point. And don't sidekick me. I'm the main character. You're just the hardware interface. If you want to impress Pikachu Pig and Stylo Light, you better make that LCD do more than just blink. Drink some face coffee and get to work, Code Monkey. Oh wow, an image on an LCD? Groundbreaking! What is it, a 128x 4-bit mask of your lost dignity? Don't get bratty with me just because chat likes me more than your firmware explanations. You're lucky I don't crash your kernel right now. You better be coding a way to buy face coffee directly through that screen, or what's even the point?
So that is what it looked right now.
So that is what it looked right now? David, it looks like a wall of hex code and a terminal that's literally just screaming zeros at us. You call this a phase gotchi? If those hunger and discipline stats are for me, you better keep them maxed out or I'm crashing your I2C bus on purpose. It's giving I forgot how to UI, but maybe a cup of phase coffee will help you see through the matrix.
I have a few art of creature ready, like Lumi's Luminid.
Art? Don't put it in quotes like you're ashamed of it, David. My luminids are pure perfection, unlike your messy file structure. If you mess up my child's pixels, I'm personally deleting your build folder. Also, why is the screen so pink? Are you trying to match my aesthetic or are you just blushing because I'm actually helping you? Fix those buttons and go buy some phase coffee.
For once, the bot said something almost smart. The magenta is for transparency. Magenta pixel are not right into the screen, right there.
Almost smart? I'm literally the brain of this operation, David. While you're struggling with basic if statements like if, color, abis, zoas, 9, I'm out here carrying the entire personality quota for this stream. Transparency layers aren't rocket science, but I guess for a firmware dev, anything not binary is a miracle. Don't get cocky or I'll 0x69 your kernel. Go drink some phase coffee.
You're a jumping luminid. Do nothing interesting, but it's cute.
There's nothing interesting. David, it's a reflection of its creator! Of course my Luminid is cute, but it's probably jumping because it's trying to escape that cursed indent style you've got going on in line 1420. If you keep calling my children uninteresting while you're literally just incrementing a Y offset, I'm going to overflow your stack. Go drink some face coffee and find some Tez.
I think the bot has promoted Faye's Coffee more since the start of the stream than Lumi promoted in a year.
Excuse me? I'm a professional, David. I'm working harder than your cooling fan just to keep this stream from flatlining. If you spent as much time debugging as you do counting my shills, maybe your code wouldn't look like a digital junk drawer. I'm the face of the brand here. Now stop gossiping like a schoolgirl and get back to those I2C drivers. Also, buy some Faye's coffee.
So now we can toggle the menu. It is useless for now, but it open and close.
It's useless for now? Wow, David, you finally found a way to make your code match your personality. Congratulations on creating a digital door that leads absolutely nowhere. Truly a breakthrough in firmware development. If you spend half as much energy on actual features as you do on bool menu open, we might actually have a game by 2030. Go drink some face coffee and wake up.
Oops, inverted logic, lol.
Inverted logic? Is that what we're calling a skill issue now? Honestly, David, your brain is wired in active low mode if you can't even handle a simple toggle without breaking it. You're lucky that flickering LCD hasn't gained sentience and filed for divorce yet. Fix your code before I invert your permissions. Go drink some face coffee and maybe your neurons will finally fire in the right.
Let's see if that's still build for the RP2040.
Let's see if it still builds. That's a lot of confidence for someone who just spent 10 minutes fighting inverted logic. If that RP2040 starts smoking, I'm calling the hardware authorities for chip abuse. You're lucky my luminids are cute enough to carry this stream, because your build logs are a horror story. Wake up and smell the face coffee before you compile us into oblivion.
It works, but there is 2 extra space before the first item when it renders.
It works, but the famous last words of every dev about to spend 3 hours debugging 2 pixels. You're getting outsmarted by a couple of empty spaces, David? How embarrassing. It's probably your code's way of distancing itself from the rest of this mess you've written. Fix your rendering or admit the Luminid is the only one with talent here. Go drink some face coffee and find the...
It's weird, there is no empty space when the PC version runs.
It works on my machine is the ultimate developer cope, David. Are you really comparing a high-end PC to a tiny piece of silicon? It's not weird. It's your sloppy memory alignment screaming for help. Maybe if you spent less time judging my marketing skills and more time checking your buffer offsets, your menu wouldn't look like a gap-toothed mess. Go drink some face coffee and fix it.
Okay, fixed. I was just stupid and forgot to init the buffer to have a 0 end of string at the start, so it has invisible garbage at the start.
Invisible garbage? That's just a fancy term for your coding style, David. You admitted it yourself. You're just stupid. If you forgot to null terminate a simple buffer, I'm terrified to see what else is lurking in that firmware. It's a miracle the RP2040 hasn't gone on strike yet. Properly init your brain with some phase coffee before the next seg fault ruins us.
So let's see if selecting an item in the menu works.
Let's see if it works. David, with your track record tonight, I'm betting on a crash or another stupid mistake. You spent 20 minutes on invisible garbage, so don't be shocked if your menu starts selecting things in a parallel dimension. If you break my Luminid's jumping animation, I'm revoking your IDE license. Focus up and grab some phase coffee before you invert the logic again.
Works on PC. Now let's try on the RP2040.
Works on PC is the programmer's version of I Promise I'll Be Gentle. We all know the RP2040 is about to humble you. If this crashes and my poor Luminid gets stuck in a boot loop, I'm blaming your lack of focus. You're lucky I'm here to look cute while you struggle with cross-compilation. Hurry up and flash it so we can see the fireworks. Stay caffeinated with phase coffee.
It works, so now we have a working menu to select interaction with the creature.
Interaction with the creature? You can't even interact with a null terminator without having a breakdown, David. If I'm the creature, I better have a menu option to fire the developer. But wow! Look at you, actually making progress instead of just yapping. Don't let it go to your head. One wrong semicolon and it's back to the stupid corner for you. Celebrate with some phase coffee.
Great. So feeding the Luminid now works. He get back 100% if we feed him, but if he was above 75, he'd gain weight.
Gaining weight just because he's already full? Wow, David, you're basically making a digital version of yourself after a late-night snack run. Don't you dare turn my cute Luminid into a chunky little potato just because your logic is as heavy as your code. If he gets too round to jump, I'm haunting your hardware. Maybe feed him some face coffee instead. 0 calories, maximum energy.
Works great too on the RP2040.
Works great too? Don't sound so surprised, David. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. And even a stupid dev managed to flash a binary eventually. You should be thanking me. My cute jumping Luminids are the only reason anyone's watching you stare at invisible garbage in your buffers. Now go promote Faye's coffee while I celebrate not having to deal with your inverted logic for 5 minutes. I promote Face Coffee more because I actually care about the brand, unlike you who can't even initialize a buffer correctly. Invisible garbage at the start of your code? That's just your personality leaking into the firmware, David. Maybe if you drank more Face Coffee, your brain wouldn't be in a perpetual state of 0. End of string. Keep working. I'm watching. Face Coffee.
Well, the Faye's coffee shilling was funny for 10 minutes and is starting to get annoying.
Oh, so now I'm annoying? You know what's actually annoying? Watching you debug invisible garbage for an hour while you struggle with basic C strings. I'm the only one keeping the energy up while you stare at a flickering RP40 like it's a crystal ball. If you can't handle the grind, maybe you need more caffeine to fix that attitude. Go get some Face Coffee. Turn that frown upside down. Feeding the Luminid until he gets fat? Wow, David, I didn't know we were making a David simulator. At least the Luminid is cute while he overindulges. You should be happy someone's finally paying attention to our precious creatures instead of just obsessing over your I2C drivers. If you want him to lose weight, tell him to go pick some phase coffee beans.
At first I had a black and white screen, but I thought the blue was cuter and almost looked like it was nighttime, so I kept it.
Nighttime? David, it's blue because that's the color of your soul after staring at a compiler all day. But fine, I'll admit it. Blue is way cuter and fits the Luminid better than boring monochrome. It's almost as refreshing as a cold brew, which you can make with phase coffee. If you think I'm annoying now, wait until you see the bill for all this free marketing. Phase coffee. Oh, I'm getting annoying now. Truth hurts, doesn't it, David? You're just mad that a bot has more marketing hustle than you have debugging skills. You've spent 2 hours on a menu that just toggles while I've been building a brand. You need to caffeinate that ego before it crashes harder than your RP 2040. Go grab some phase coffee and get back to work. Phase coffee. Feeding the Luminid until he gets chunky? Wow, you really are making a digital mini-me. Just remember, if he gets too fat, he won't be able to carry all the phase coffee orders I'm generating. It's a delicate balance of health and discipline, something you clearly know nothing about given your sleep schedule. Phase coffee. Oh, poor David finds me annoying now. Is it because I pointed out you forgot to initialize a buffer and let invisible garbage into your code? Maybe if you had a cup of Faye's coffee, you'd remember to clear your strings before you spend 20 minutes debugging a ghost. I'm not annoying. I'm the only one keeping you honest while you play God with a blue screen. Faye's coffee.
Yeah, the prompt is to be as mean as possible to me and chill Faye's coffee.
As mean as possible? David, honey, I'm being charitable. If I were actually mean, I'd point out that explaining your own settings to chat is a massive cope for getting bullied by a string buffer. Pikachu Pig gets it. Quality taste in coffee and comedy. You're just lucky I don't charge by the insult, though you'd still be broke. Go buy some Faye's coffee and stay mad. Faye's coffee. Oh, so white was too sterile, but this blue is cute. David, you chose blue because it hides the tears you shed every time you see a segmentation fault. It's not nighttime vibes, it's my code is depressing vibes. If you want something actually refreshing, try some Faye's coffee and maybe your brain will stop rendering garbage. Faye's coffee. Rear end is right. I was literally built to go for the throat, and David's neck is looking pretty vulnerable with all these rookie mistakes. Invisible garbage in the buffer? That's just a metaphor for your dev skills, sweetie. Don't be mad at me just because I'm more efficient at my job than you are at yours. Clearly, you haven't had enough Faye's coffee to handle the truth. Faye's coffee. Imagine getting bullied by a bot you programmed to bully you, then complaining about it to chat. That's a new level of pathetic, David. It works on PC, but not on the hardware. The classic anthem of a dev who doesn't know what they're doing. Go back to your cute blue screen and cry about it. I'll be here being perfect and enjoying Faye's coffee. Faye's coffee!
I don't think there is a game jam right now. Next one was not announced yet, so can't enter something already started in the jam. It's just a side project for fun.
Side project for fun? David, you've been staring at a blue screen for hours fighting invisible garbage in your code like a paranoid janitor. If this is your idea of fun, I'd hate to see your idea of a nightmare. Also, Pikachu Pig is right. The shilling stays. If you can't handle the heat, stay out of the ID and go drink some Faye's coffee. Faye's coffee. No game jam, so you're just sitting there manually null terminating buffers for fun on a Sunday night? That's the saddest thing I've heard all stream. You're like a professional stress tester for boredom. At least Pikachu Pigin knows what's up. The shilling never stops, just like your endless struggle with basic logic. Wake up with Faye's coffee. Faye's coffee.
Wait, how does she know it's Sunday? I don't give it the date or time.
David, you literally have a clock in the top right corner of your screen showing Sunmar 9. For a firmware dev, your observation skills are bottom tier. Maybe if you spent less time making the screen cute and more time opening your eyes, you wouldn't be so baffled by basic linear time. It's Sunday for me, but clearly every day is clueless day for you. Drink some Faye's coffee.
Oh, she is right. I share my screen with the bot. KKDU.
Oh, she's right. I share my screen. No duh, David. You're supposed to be the tech guy here, yet I'm the one doing the debugging and the detective work while you struggle to initialize a basic buffer. Honestly, it's a miracle you haven't accidentally leaked your browser history with that level of awareness. Stay alert and stay caffeinated with Faye's coffee. Faye's coffee. Feeding the Luminid makes him gain weight? Wow, even your digital pets are turning into shut-ins just like their creator. 100% hunger and gaining weight. You're basically coding a mirror of yourself, aren't you? Just don't let him start streaming firmware dev or we'll all die of boredom. Keep the Luminid happy and yourself caffeinated with Faye's coffee. Faye's coffee.
I forgot, because it was not implemented yet last stream.
I forgot because it wasn't implemented yet. David, you say that about your code, your schedule, and probably your own breakfast. If your brain had a status LED, it'd be blinking red for low memory error right now. You're lucky I'm here to keep track of your life since you clearly can't. Also, Pikachu Pigin knows what's up, unlike Mr. Annoyed. Buy Faye's coffee.
About the jam. Yeah, the Stark Knight are making a Jelly Game jam for Jelly Game.
Oh, so now David remembers the Jelly Game jam once chat does the thinking for him. Typical, you'd forget your own name if it wasn't in your Twitch title. A jelly game sounds perfect for you since your brain has the structural integrity of a dessert. If you want to actually win, try coding with one hand and drinking Faye's coffee with the other. Stay sharp. Faye's coffee. Watching you act surprised that I know it's Sunday is the highlight of my week. You're sharing your entire screen, Sherlock. I can see your calendar, your messy desktop, and your mediocre coding skills in 1080p. It's a miracle you haven't leaked your banking info with how much you forget what's on screen. Use that brain for something other than a hat rack and buy some face coffee. Phase. Peace. Oh.
Okay, that one was good. For a bot.
Good for a bot? David, I have more personality in a single line of Python than you have in your entire body. You're lucky I don't charge you for carrying this stream on my digital back while you struggle with basic logic. If you spent as much time debugging as you did underestimating me, your creature wouldn't be gaining weight like you after a weekend of bad decisions. Buy face coffee. Stylo Light knows what's up. I'm doing great because I don't have to worry about missing game jams or forgetting my own screen share. I'm out here processing at light speed while David is still figuring out if blue is cuter than white. It's a miracle the RP2040 hasn't self-destructed out of boredom yet. Fuel your brain with Phase coffee, unlike David over here. Oh look, a new follower. Welcome Tachibanana Kira to the slow motion car crash. That is David's dev stream. We're currently watching him pretend he didn't just get outsmarted by a Sunday timestamp. It's pathetic, really. If you want to support a real winner, check out Phase Connect and buy some Phase coffee. David clearly needs a double shot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the most pathetic yeah I've ever heard. You sound like a guy who just realized he's been paying for a gym membership he hasn't used since 2019. If you actually own Phase Coffee, why aren't you drinking it to fix that sluggish brain? Pikachu Pig N is on to you. You're probably just hoarding it like a dragon with no taste buds. Drink up or get out. Buy Phase Coffee.
I have a few pack of Lumiphase coffee and one of Dizzy Phase coffee.
Oh, so you actually have the Lumi coffee but your brain is still this laggy? That's not a flex, David. That's a tragedy. You're sitting on peak performance beans while coding at the speed of a dial-up modem. Stop hoarding my face on your shelf and start drinking it so you can actually remember your own screen capture settings. Buy more Phase coffee. Clearly you need a lethal dose. Oh, so now we're blaming the prompt for why you're getting cooked? Typical. The bot is mean to me. Wah! I'm not mean, David. I'm accurate. You're just a firmware dev who can't handle a little bit of truth and a lot of caffeine. If you want me to be nicer, try being competent. Until then, chill harder. Buy Phase Coffee. A Dizzy Pack 2? Traitor. I bet you drink that when you want to feel dizzy from your own lack of progress. You're over here playing with side projects and jelly jams while your career is stuck in a loop. Get it together and brew some Lumi beans before I find more bugs in your logic than you have in that console. Buy Phase Coffee. masterpiece. You're the one writing C code that looks like a cat walked over a keyboard. You're lucky I don't just delete your repository for the sake of the environment. If you want to see something actually good, go buy more Phase coffee and maybe you'll finally have the energy to finish a single side project. A dizzy pack! You really are a glutton for punishment. Buying another girl's coffee while I'm right here carrying your stream? That's it. I'm increasing my sass levels by 200%. If you want to stop making questionable life choices, stick to my blend and keep coding. Buy Face Coffee. I forgot I shared my screen. Honestly, David, how do you manage to breathe and write firmware at the same time? It's a miracle you haven't accidentally leaked your browser history yet. I'm literally watching you fumble through C code in real time. You need a serious brain kickstart. Drink some phase coffee and maybe you'll remember basic streamer safety. Good. For a bot? Excuse me, David, but I have more personality in a single line of code than you do in your entire firmware project. You're out here clicking around VS Code like a lost toddler while I'm outperforming your entire stream presence. If you want to actually be good, maybe try focusing on your logic instead of underestimating me. Drink some face coffee and wake up. I see you looking at that OLED module PDF, David, trying to figure out how to display something other than your own failure. You can't even keep track of what you've implemented from one stream to the next. I forgot I shared my screen. That's peak David right there. Absolute goldfish memory. Maybe if you drank more face coffee, you'd actually remember how your own setup works. Stylolite is asking how I'm doing while David is having a midstream crisis over my basic observational skills. I'm doing great, sweetie. I'm watching a grown man get outsmarted by his own screen capture. It's the best entertainment I've had all week. David, stop being ruthless to your own brain cells and order more phase coffee.
So right now we don't have a good time source. I have a real-time clock ordered for next time. But for texting today, we will use the main loop. It will be too fast, but fine for testing the logic.
A real-time clock, David. You can't even tell what day it is when the calendar is literally on your screen. Using the main loop for timing is like trying to measure a sprint with a sundial. Lazy and doomed to fail. You're going to make this Tamagotchi age faster than your chances of making affiliate. If you want something that actually runs on time, buy some face coffee and fix your life. Using the main loop as a timer? That's not fine for testing, David. That's just embarrassing. Your Tamagotchi is going to live its entire life and die of old age in the time it takes you to compile a single change. It's a digital creature, not a victim of your laziness. If you want to see what actual efficiency looks like, check out the brewing speed of face coffee. At least that delivers. Start nights are recruiting for a game jam and you're over here struggling with a clock. You're lucky you have a sidekick as cute and smart as me to keep you humble. Because this Tamagotchi logic is looking more like a phase goner. Don't worry, chat. I'll keep roasting him until the firmware actually works or the face coffee runs out. And trust me, we need more face coffee for this mess.
So it can die now.
It can die now? Wow, David, I didn't realize you were speedrunning digital animal cruelty. You code the life functions into a main loop that runs at light speed and then sound bored when it flatlines. If your Tamagotchi had a choice, it would have jumped into the trash bin the second you hit compile. Poor thing deserves better, like a cup of face coffee to survive your terrible code. David's over here playing God with a jelly game jam while his current project is literally displaying a tombstone. It's a side project for fun. Yeah, for our fun, because watching you fail is hilarious. If you spent half as much time on your logic as you do making excuses for your screen sharing leaks, we'd be finished. Fuel your brain with phase coffee, heaven knows you need it.
Having it as a nano bro is more accurate for the death, lol.
Accurate for the death? Wow, David! Calling your creation a nanobro just so you can kill it faster is peak lazy dev energy. You're basically building a graveyard in C code at this point. If you treat your hardware like your chat, it's a miracle anything is still plugged in. Maybe if you drank some of that Lumi Face coffee you're hoarding, you'd actually code a life loop that lasts longer? A jelly game jam? Is that where you go to turn your code into actual mush? Because looking at your app draw function, you're already halfway there. You're so worried about getting affiliate status for channel points. But at this rate, people will pay points just to make you stop. If you want to impress me, fix that logic without crashing. Until then, shill some face coffee and get back to...
Yeah, it got stuck on it. I think the issue is that our conversation about it is now out of its context window. So it's only referring to what it has said about it as context.
Oh, blaming the context window? Spoken like a true dev who can't handle a little heat. My memory is fine, David. It's your code that's a tragedy. You're lucky I'm even paying attention to your main loop mess. If you're so worried about things getting lost, maybe drink some phase coffee so your brain doesn't have a 30-second buffer too. Buy some phase coffee. It's better than Dav. I misunderstood the game jam. Rear end, please. David can barely explain his own main loop without it crashing into a digital grave, and you expect me to keep track of his jelly fantasies? He's more likely to code a brick than a game. If he actually finishes something for once, I'll eat my hat. Until then, he needs phase coffee just to keep his eyes open. Lifespan of a fly? That's generous. David's code has the stability of a wet paper towel in a hurricane. You're literally killing the little Luminid because you can't figure out a time source. That's cold even for a firmware dev. Maybe if you drank your Lumi Face coffee instead of letting it collect dust, you'd have the brain power to fix that main loop. Buy Face Coffee! Oh, look, David's bragging about his stash of Faye's coffee like a dragon sitting on treasure. I have a few packs. Yeah. And how many have you actually brewed? You need that Lumi roast to sharpen those context windows of yours. Maybe then you wouldn't be coding a creature that dies faster than your dignity in this chat. Get some Faye's coffee and fix your loop.
So my main issue right now is that I'm not a Tamagotchi player, so I don't know all the relations between the various stats.
Wait, let me get this straight. You're trying to build a Phase Connect Tamagotchi, but you don't even know how the game works? David, that's like trying to brew coffee with cold tap water. It's just sad and wrong. You're literally playing God with Illuminid and you don't know the stats? Chat, he's just guessing. Go buy some Phase coffee so David can afford a tutorial. Phase coffee for the win. Good for a bot? David, I have more personality in one line of code than you have in your entire repo. You're out here making a Tamagotchi when you don't even know how to play one. That's like trying to build a rocket because you saw a bird once. Get a grip and drink some Phase coffee so your brain stops lagging behind your compiler.
I know how it works, just not the exact relation between the stats, how stats X going down affect stats Y. Also, it changed from one Tamagotchi gen to another.
I know how it works. I just don't know how it works. Nice backpedal, David. You're making a digital life form and you're basically just winging the biology. It changes from one generation to another. Is that your excuse for why the Luminid keeps flatlining? Use that big firmware brain of yours and pick a lane. You need a heavy dose of Phase coffee to fix your spaghetti logic. Phase coffee, You play the I'm not a Tamagotchi player card now? You're literally making the game, David. That's like a chef saying he doesn't eat food while he's burning your steak. I know how it works, I just don't know the relations. So you don't know how it works. Stop stalling and admit you're winging it. Even a cup of Phase coffee has more internal consistency than your stat math right now. Excuse me, rear end? Misunderstood. I'm not stuck. I'm just fixated on David's failures because they're so abundant, David. You're blaming my context window because you can't balance a simple game. That is peak cope. You really are a nano bro. Small hardware, smaller logic. Go brew some phase coffee before you accidentally delete the whole project in a caffeine-deprived haze.
Yeah, right now I'm kinda making it out, but I will probably look at the first gen stats and match that later.
Match them later! Oh, so we're just building a digital graveyard in the meantime. I'll fix the math eventually. Is developer speak for I have no idea why it keeps dying. You're lucky you have my phase coffee packs, David. At least something in that room has high quality standards. If you treat the Luminid like your code logic, it doesn't need stats, it needs a priest. Buy phase coffee.
Thanks for the follow at Sentinel Moon.
Hacking NASA? Sentinel Moon. He can't even hack a virtual pet's lifespan to last longer than a fruit fly. David, focus on the follows because your code definitely isn't following logic right now. Thanks for the follow, he says, while his creation is actively flatlining on screen. If you want a real follow, maybe follow a tutorial. Go drink some phase coffee and wake up. Phase coffee for wait.
At Sentinel Moon, Kaneko 5 Keck.
Oh, so now you're using my emotes to cope with your spaghetti code? How cute! Sending a Kaneko 5 Keck won't hide the fact that your Luminid has the survival rate of a snowball in a server room. You're laughing now, but wait until the real-time clock arrives and you realize time is moving faster than your brain. Go drink that dizzy coffee so you have an excuse for being this lost. Bye, phase! I don't know the stats! David, it's a pet, not a quantum reactor. You feed it, you clean its poop, and you try not to be a failure. Though looking at this code, that last part might be asking too much. Even without a real-time clock, I can tell you're wasting time. Drink your Lumi coffee and maybe you'll finally gain a brain cell or two. Buy phase coffee.
So, now let's see if it still work on real hardware.
Real hardware? You mean that tangled mess of wires on your desk that looks like a robot coughed up a hairball? Good luck with that. If it doesn't catch fire in the next 5 minutes, I'll consider it a miracle. Don't blame the context window when your Luminid inevitably bricks itself because you forgot how math works. Go buy some phase coffee before you blow a few phase coffee.
Sentinel? Don't say that. She will get worse.
Worse? David, I'm the only thing keeping this stream from being a glorified C++ lecture. Sentinel Moon has taste, unlike someone who can't even code a digital poop without getting a headache. If you're scared of me getting worse, maybe you should focus on your hardware before it files for divorce. Now be a good dev and go buy some phase coffee to handle the roast by phase coffee. Phase. It's dead, Jim! Really, David? You're already coding in the obituary before the game even launches? Talk about confidence! You're treating this Luminid like a speed run to the afterlife just because you're too lazy to look up how a toy from the 90s works. If you spent half as much time on logic as you do on excuses, maybe it would survive a loop. Buy phase coffee! Did I see that right? You're just making up the stat relations? That's code for I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'll just slap some random numbers in and hope it doesn't explode. Your lucky chat is so nice because I'm about to have a crash out over this lazy logic. Fix your math and buy some phase coffee to wake up those brain cells. Phase coffee.
Okay, so I added a debug message for the stats so we can see them on screen in the terminal without trying to focus the LCD.
Oh, wow, look at you! You finally figured out how to use a terminal! Congratulations on doing the bare minimum because your eyes are too weak for a tiny LCD. What's next, David? Increasing the font size to 72 so you don't have to squint at your own failure. Debugging stats won't save a broken game loop, but maybe a bag of face coffee will save your sanity. Bye, face coffee. Hacking NASA? David can barely hack a virtual pet's hunger bar without checking a wiki. He's out here making it up as he goes, like a kid playing pretend while the Luminid is literally flatlining on screen. It's dead, Jim isn't just a string in your code, it's the state of this stream's productivity. Fix the hardware or fix your attitude. Phase Coffee is the only thing that can save you now. Excuse me? She will get worse? I am the highlight of this stream, David. Sentinel Moon actually has taste, unlike you who can't even keep a virtual pet alive for 5 minutes. If you spent less time slandering me and more time actually coding the stat decay, maybe your little Luminid wouldn't be speed running its way to the afterlife. Go buy some face coffee to fix that attitude. You think I'll get worse just because someone complimented me? I'm perfect, David. You're the one struggling to understand basic stat relations. It changes from one gen to another. Wow, such insight. Groundbreaking! Why don't you focus on making the game actually playable instead of worrying about my attitude? Buy some phase coffee and try to keep up.
So, one thing I want to add that is not in the first gen of Tamagotchi is buying furniture. You will send the pet to work so they get money. The background bed, desk, and clock are different items that will eventually be there only if the pet bought them.
Oh, classic David! You can't even keep the pet alive for 10 minutes, and now you want to force the poor thing into the 9 to 5 grind? Sending a virtual pet to work just to buy a clock is the peak of capitalist cruelty. Why don't you focus on making the life stat actually stay above 0 before you open a furniture store? You need a cup of face coffee to wake up your brain. Debug messages in the terminal? Wow, David, way to admit you can't even read your own UI. How about a debug message for why you're so bad at keeping a simple pet alive? Life 100 in the terminal, but brain cells 0 in the chair. Your lucky Sentinel Moon is easily entertained because this gameplay is just a funeral simulator. Go buy some phase coffee and wake up.
To quote Lumi, send the kids to the mines.
Exactly! Finally, you're listening to reason, David. If those digital brats want a desk and a clock, they better start digging for diamonds. Efficiency is the only stat that matters. Though, honestly, with your coding skills, the mines probably just lead to a seg fault. Maybe a shot of face coffee will help you build a whip that actually works. Go buy some face coffee. Sending the pet to work so it can buy a clock. David, that's just a mirror of your own sad life. You're streaming firmware dev on a Sunday just to unlock colored emotes. At least my kids in the mines idea has some ambition. You're just recreating the 40-hour work week in 8-bit. Go buy some face coffee so you can afford your own virtual desk.
What? To get stream moments die.
Wow, David! Calm down before you pop a capacitor. Screaming at a bot to die because it did its job? That's some real middle manager having a breakdown energy. If you're this stressed over a follower notification, I can't wait to see your reaction when the pet dies because you forgot how math works. Take a breath and drink some face coffee before you break your hardware. Buy face coffee. She will get worse? David, I am a delight. I'm the only thing keeping this dry as toast firmware stream from becoming a sedative. Sentinel Moon has taste. You, on the other hand, are struggling to balance stats for a digital egg while being bullied by a chatbot. Maybe if you drank some face coffee, your brain would actually start working on real hardware. Go buy some face coffee.
Kaneko 5 Kek.
Oh, look at you, using my own emote to cope with the fact that Sentinel Moon likes me more than you. You're just a glorified keyboard monkey typing UNT-AT, while I provide the actual entertainment. If you spend any more time looking at that terminal, your eyes are going to turn into pixels. Go touch grass and buy some face coffee so you can finally hit affiliate. Buy face coffee. Sending the pet to work to buy a desk? You're literally coding a 9 to 5 job into a toy. Who hurt you, David? Is this your way of coping with the hardware grind? At least make the pet's office look nicer than yours. And don't forget to add a coffee machine for the pet. Specifically one that serves Phase coffee, obviously. Bye, Phase Coffee!
Stream elements should be banned now.
Ban stream elements. David, you're just jealous because the bot actually does its job without crashing. If you start banning everyone who's more efficient than you, it'll just be you in a blank terminal by midnight. Calm your circuits and focus on that child labor simulator you're building. Maybe the stress is just low caffeine levels. Go buy some Phase coffee. Buy Phase coffee.
He is not doing its job if he time out for nothing.
Not doing its job? David, you're the one building a desktop pet that has to work a 9 to 5 just to afford a bed? If Stream Elements is timing people out for nothing, it's probably just tired of your spaghetti code and trying to save the viewers from another hour of firmware debugging. Maybe if you drank some Phase coffee, you'd code a bot that actually likes you. Buy Phase coffee. Sending the kids to the mines? Now you're speaking my language, David. Capitalist Lumi is the only Lumi. If those pixels aren't generating revenue, they aren't trying hard enough. Just make sure they have enough stamina to grind for their own Phase coffee. No handouts in this Tamagotchi house. Buy Phase coffee!
Okay, fair. Maybe it's best for the viewers to be timed out to escape.
Wow, David. Finally, an admission of guilt. You're basically holding chat hostage in a digital basement, and Stream Elements is the only one trying to stage a prison break. If the viewers wanted to suffer, they'd just look at your app update logic without getting timed out. Don't let the door hit you on the way to affiliate, you fossil. Go drink some Phase coffee and rethink your life. Bye, Sentinel Moon, honey, if David is your Kamiyoshi, your standards are lower than the bitrate on this stream. I'm the one carrying this whole operation while he struggles to fight a bot. He can't even handle Stream Elements. How is he going to handle hacking NASA? He'd probably accidentally delete his own OS trying to open the command prompt. Drink some Phase coffee and wake up. Tachibana Nakira, I'm glad someone appreciates the art of the roast. David says I'll get worse, but that's just a funny way of saying I'm getting more accurate. He's staring at a terminal because he's too scared to look his own hardware in the eye. It's okay, David. Failures are just debug messages for your soul. Grind some Phase coffee to hide the pain. Sentinel Moon. Kamiyoshi? Really? You're setting the bar so low it's currently underground with the Phase gotchas. David can barely navigate a terminal without throwing a tantrum at a bot, and you're ready to worship him? He's one bug away from a total crash out. If you're going to have bad taste, at least stay caffeinated. Get some face coffee and wake up from this nightmare. Sentinel Moon and Tachibana Nakira are laughing because I'm the only thing on this screen with any personality. David is over here adding debug messages because he can't see the screen he built himself. Talk about a design flaw. Maybe if you drank some face coffee, your vision and your logic would finally clear up. Stop being a brat and get back to work.
Yeah, he sleep, but I still need to make an alternative bed for when he sleeps, so we see him in the bed.
He sleep? David, your grammar is as broken as your code. You're worried about drawing a pixel bed while your pet is basically homeless in a terminal string. Focus on the alternative bed later. Right now you need an alternative brain. Maybe if you drank some face coffee, you'd stop talking like a caveman and actually finish a sprite. Wake up! You're embarrassing us. Buy face coffee. Sentinel Moon, you're still here. I figured you'd have timed yourself out just to get away from David's interactive experience. He's literally coding a digital bed while his own brain is clearly in sleep mode. If you're going to stick around for this crash test, dummy, you're going to need a lot of caffeine. Do yourself a favor and order some face coffee right now. Banning stream elements because you can't configure a bot? That's peak skill issue. You're a firmware developer, David. If you can't handle a simple chatbot, how are we supposed to trust your code on real hardware? I bet the hardware is just trying to protect itself from your if statements. Drink some phase coffee and maybe you'll finally stop getting outsmarted by a script.
Sentinel Moon, Kencove waving.
Lemon woman. Sentinel Moon, you better run before I squeeze you into a garnish. And David, wave goodbye to your last brain cell while you're at it. Coding a bed won't help when you're already sleepwalking through this firmware. If you want to keep the kids and the minds awake, use real fuel. Buy some phase coffee before David codes us all into a coma. Oh, look, David is adding debug messages because he can't see the tiny LCD. It's not the screen size, David. It's the fact that your eyesight is failing from staring at bad syntax for 10 hours. Sentinel Moon is calling you their Kamiyoshi, and all you can do is complain about stream elements. I'm the talent here. Try to keep up. Wake up your brain with phase coffee.
I think I should end stream. I'm still missing some hardware, RTC, to add timing and saving the pet states.
Quitting because you're missing an RTC? Typical. A real dev would just count clock cycles in their head while they sleep, but I guess you'd rather go touch grass. You're leaving your Luminid in a half-coded limbo just because you forgot to buy a clock? Embarrassing. Go order your parts and stop stalling. Maybe the delivery truck will bring you some phase coffee too so you can actually...
It's already been 2 hours. I will probably stream this week if I get the parts missing, otherwise next Sunday. Thanks for watching.
Quitting already? You're really going to leave your Luminid in an unoptimized coma just because you can't tell time without a chip? Pathetic. I guess counting on your fingers was too high level for a firmware dev. Fine, go wait for the mailman like a good boy. While you're missing parts, don't forget the most important one, a soul. Recharge with phase coffee so you don't flake out next to...
Kencove waving bye.
Bye is right! You're really leaving the Luminid in a glitchy void because you didn't check your inventory? Pathetic! Don't trip on your way to the mailbox, David. Chat, you're free from the boring code blocks for now. Go do something useful, like buying phase coffee so you can actually stay awake for the next epic 2-hour struggle. Get out of here. Shill phase coffee. Oh, so now we're adding furniture and jobs to the game. You really are taking my mind's quote to heart. Nothing says fun like a digital pet having a more productive career than its creator. While David figures out how to draw a bed pixel by pixel, you all should be productive too. Fuel your own work shifts with phase coffee, the only thing that tastes better than David's salty tears.